Good morning, viewers. Welcome to Speecho's Coffee and Chat. Thanks for clicking through. First of all, you'll notice that I'm not down in the shed where I usually do these vlogs from, and that's because today I've got a special guest here today. I'd like to welcome my good mate Jack, who's come in to talk to us. Welcome to Speecho Skunk Works, Jack.
Good to be here, Paul. Good to be here.
How's your day been today, mate?
Yeah, good. Good. Interesting. Bit cold up here in Toowoomba, but yeah, really nice. Really nice. How about yours?
Yeah, busy. I worked all this morning, so had a fair bit on. But yeah, keen to have a quick chat and see what's going on. So you have a woodworking workshop, I believe.
I do, Paul. I do. It's been in development for a little while. I'm not that I'm a good woodworker by any means. I'm a worse welder. So about 3 years ago, I guess, where I decided I want to do something with my hands. I want to build something, and I'd always built little things. Like we built this house, and as a owner builder sort of thing, and always potting around doing little stuff. So I thought, oh well, that sounds good, because those little animals, they make out of gas bottles and that, they're always really neat, those things. So I thought, oh, I made a few of those, but yeah, they hold together, but they look pretty not well. They look nice. The welds you got to hide a little bit. So I had a heap of wood sitting there from when we leveled this place 10 years ago or 12 years ago, just sitting there, and I thought, oh, well, I might start making a little bit of stuff out of that, see how that goes, and absolutely loved it. And it turned out really well. So over the last, I suppose, 4 or 5 months, we've just been slowly buying more and more equipment, slowly trying to get our skills up. That's my wife and I. She does the resin side of things, trying to get all the my skills up. So, I mean, it's fairly easy to build a chopping board, but then I want to expand into furniture. It's been a good thing. Interesting learning curve, very steep.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah, I've seen some of the chopping boards you made. They're awesome.
Yeah, they're working out all right. They're probably these ones that differ from other ones. These are made out of ironbark, so they're heavy, being really heavy, which is what you want for a chopping board, not so much for a servery board or chiquetto boards or whatever they call them. Cheese boards is easiest. I can't say that other word.
Shootery.
That's it. Charcuterie. Yeah, that seems to be.
I only know
Seems to
that
be.
ad on the TV where old mate walks around and he goes, Shootery.
I guess that making those, one thing that's always in the back of my mind, they're fairly, well, they're time consuming. They take an hour or two each to make if you want to do them properly. But it's a fad at the moment. Like a lot of things, it's a big trend, and having boards and wine and cheese platter boards and that sort of stuff. So I want to jump on that, but then also learn how to make furniture and other things, so that if that dies off, as fads and trends seem to do from time to time, I'll have enough skills there, and that would have given me enough income in order to buy enough equipment so that I can do other stuff as well.
Yeah, speaking of equipment, so what have you got that you kicked off with so far? Have
I've got a router
in the
table.
workshop?
Yeah, originally I just started with too lazy to use a handsaw, so I bought an electric saw. I've got and then I went in and when I built this barbecue area that you might have seen just before, I bought a thicknesser planer, so I thicknessed all that up the same size, which is good. Which I'm about to buy another one, because it's a Ryobi $600 one, probably not the best. What else have I got? Router tables, saw benches, drill presses. I just bought a jointer the other day. I was lucky enough to get one that cost a couple of grand. A fella here in Toowoomba had, so I half stripped it down, greased everything up, made sure everything lines, and started working with it. And I think it's the sort of thing you get a lot of practice with, because it actually makes the straight edges.
Yeah.
So that you can join. Earlier on, you're talking about a chopping board that was pieced together. They look really, really nice too, those ones. And in order to do that, you've got to have two straight edges so the glue will stick.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, if they split where the glue is, the glue was either cheapy glue or perhaps the cut wasn't straight enough. 90-degree
Yeah, I think
angle.
this is it was just a mass produced one, but
Yeah, a lot of them get like that. You go into house and all those sorts of places, and they're not. No, they're all right. I mean, nothing wrong with them, but they're not the best quality. And that's what we want to do. We've been to a lot of markets and that, and had a look at ones, and don't get me wrong, some of them are very very nice. Probably not the quality that I want to make mine, which has held us up a little bit because I've made quite a few, but just not to the standard I want.
well, that's the
People
beauty of getting handmade, isn't it? Like it's nothing. Like it'll be way better than anything you can get that's machine made or mass produced made.
mass produced, yeah, yeah. I hope so. Um, Certainly the ones that other people are made, and even the ones I don't think are perfect for the ones I'm doing. People just snap them up because they love them.
Mm.
I've got to be in a habit of not saying, "Oh, I just watch that little the edge just goes a little bit in here." Just I just got to
that's
be careful. Debbie gives me the look. She said, "No one will ever notice that," and they don't. They love them.
that's the beauty of having something that's handmade. It's got hand tool marks and stuff in it. Like
Yeah, that's the other thing too.
I've got old antique furniture here, and a lot of the back of the drawers are just like hand hewn. They're not even finished, or they're not even plain or finished at all. They're just rough as rough because it was the
Oh,
drawer. So no, when you slide it into the cupboard, you couldn't see it, obviously.
yeah,
But it's all handmade.
yeah, and I don't really see a problem with that if you know what you're buying. You go to some of these pine. There's a pine place here in Toowoomba, pine factory where they make a lot of furniture, and it's sort of the same. It's nice furniture, but if you really look into it, you'll find there's marks and not the best quality timber at the back of it as opposed to the front, which is okay. And then you walk into some handmade furniture places where you'll pay $5,000 or $6,000 for a dining room table or $15,000 for a dining room table, and they're just beautiful.
Yeah.
A lot of work, and I'd love to get to that stage to be able to be that good at it, but we'll see how we go.
How do you go for dust and noise out there, Jack? Do you have any problem with that?
Dust, yeah, like I was saying, I went in and I bought this dust collector because I was using the shop vacuum cleaners that you get. So I went and
Yeah.
I bought this. They were $599 or something. This fella had it for sale for 200 because he reckons it wasn't big enough. It wouldn't suck the stuff. I took it in the shed and it wouldn't. It was hopeless. I'm saying to Deb, something's wrong. I don't know. It's got a third horsepower motor on it, so it should be ample to do what you want to do.
Mm.
So anyway, I had a look at they might have assembled it and put the impeller back on because they're an 8-inch or 6-inch, an 8-inch hose goes in, and then the idea of them is when they go in, it dusts it all up, and the dust and the heavy stuff settles, and the dust should settle as well eventually, and the air blows out somewhere because you've got to have a discharge. It wasn't discharging, therefore it wasn't sucking.
Ah, right.
And I'll have to read how to get the discharge to work because what I did was punch a little hole in it in the plastic bag at the bottom, and it just about sucked your frigging arm off once it was able to have that, that flow, that general flow that it needs.
Yeah.
Good as gold, but now I'm going to have to look up. I might have the wrong bag. Maybe I got the wrong bags or something like that. I don't know, but
So you
it's
just
pretty good.
punctured a hole in the bag.
Yeah, you just get a. He said to me, just get a plastic bag and put it at the bottom. So I got a plastic bag and put it at the bottom, but I just used a black rubbish bag. And I don't know whether maybe the bags you buy with them have got little perforated holes in. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be able to go somewhere.
You'll have to look into it then.
Yeah, I will, but it's easy to look into when you're saving like $500,
Yeah.
$400 when you buy it. You don't mind mucking around trying to work out what's wrong with it.
Bloody oath, mate.
I've got to find a respirator or a mask that doesn't fog the glasses up, and that's a bit hard to do, as we all know. Anybody who wear glasses during COVID times that they do fog up. So I've got to get something that I can wear to keep that dust down because it's super super fine dust, and it over time it won't hurt you to start with, but over 10 years you'll probably be in trouble with it.
Yeah.
Noise is not so much of a problem if I'm going to do anything on the weekends. The main noise that I make will be like today during work hours. Most people around our neighbourhood are going to work, so you can you can make sort of as much noise as you want. Debbie works from home, so I've got to open one door and close another door and have things done. So she can sort of hear it in the office there, but it's not too bad. I sort of thought that if it got to a really big stage, you'd probably have to move.
Yeah. Well, I
Because
guess if it depends how big your business gets. Like if it's just a home hobby business, then yeah,
it's fine.
obviously you can't run full production in your garage at home here. You'll end up upsetting someone in the neighbourhood, I guess.
And that's the thing, and it's unfair to the neighbours. And the other thing I don't do is I don't make heaps and heaps of noise for hours and hours on end. Like if I'm going to do it, I might do 30 minutes of making heaps of noise, and I'll go and do something that's a little bit quieter. There's a couple of the machines I got, like the thicknesser is loud. Routers aren't too loud, but the thicknesser is really loud.
What do you run on your thicknesser? Do you run high-speed steel blades on that, or have you got?
Yeah, just the flat blade. So the next one I'm going to buy, I'm going to change. I'm going to buy the it's like a drum blade. It's
You've got carbide insert.
yeah. So instead of being straight, it's on an angle, and it sort of curves as it goes.
I bought a tool and cutter grinder that you can use to sharpen like anything, drill bits, lathe tooling, the milling machine tooling. But he also has the attachment there. He was a woodworker that I bought it off, so he's got all the attachments to do planer blades and thicknesser blades. So you can do. I think he had a 12-inch or 14-inch thicknesser blade attachment there. So if you want to sharpen your high-speed steel ones, let me know and we'll
It's funny because
on the machine.
It's not funny, but at the moment it's leaving two lines in the same spot every time. And sure as shit, you think it's a blade. So took the blades out, swapped them over because they're double-edged. Swapped them over, same lines there. For the life of me, I can't work out what it is. I've pulled that.
I was going to say, it sounds like you've hit a knot or a nail or something, but
it's on every piece of wood. But the blades I've swapped around and I've sharpened them and everything, and there's no marks in the blades. I don't know. So I'm just going to bite the bullet, I think, and Deb won't be happy, but we'll spend $1,200 and buy a decent one. It's done a lot of work though, building all this here. It's done a lot of work, but I would have thought the blades would be making the marks, but they're not. So I'm not too sure what it is.
apparently you'll only get in trouble if you tell
Better to ask for forgiveness and permission. I learned that a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what happens in my shed too, mate, or my workshop. All the tools just rock up, and the wife will go down there every so often. Rachel will go down there every so often. She'll be like, "Is that new?" I'm like, "Nah, that's been here for ages." She goes, "What? 3 weeks?
Yeah.
You snuck it in on your last days off."
Yeah, Deb's pretty good. She's happy for me to buy whatever we need, just so long I don't go overboard to start with. Like I brought the router. I got it at a garage sale. It's a desktop router. It's not too bad. Well, it's only the unit. You stick your own router in and all the rest. But I will buy better ones as I go.
Yeah. So what are you running? Are you running one of the old Triton ones, or?
No, I'm not. It's just believe it or not, it's a work zone one, the ones you get from Aldi.
Yeah.
They ain't one special. And it works fine. Look, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's apart from the fact it's a pain in the butt to change the router bit itself.
Yeah.
So I went to another fellow who was making planter boxes, and I was talking to him, and he's got one router stand, or two router stands, and about 4 router tops. And the tops already have the routers in them with the bits, so they don't have to move and they're already set up. Because that can take you 10 minutes to set a router, top up with the height adjustment and that. And if you already got them all done, it's quicker and easier to do it that way.
That must be a similar setup then. I was listening to a podcast of a bloke. He was talking about he had his routers set up. He had 3 bodies and 1 motor.
Yep.
And he just clipped the motor off. Must have changed the bit because the bit would be attached to the motor, wouldn't it? Change the bit and clamp it back up into the new body. So he was the same. He had one set up in his router table upside down. He had obviously one set up for handheld work, and the other one was set up for something else, edging or whatever. I'm not massive into woodwork, but so that was how he got around with that. That must be a similar sort of setup, I guess. Then,
yeah, this is one of the bigger. Sorry,
or a similar idea.
A similar idea, yeah.
So it sounds like you do all the woodworking and your wife does the resin for you. What's that process involved?
It's been a bit of a learning curve with all that stuff. It's interesting. So she's going to go and do a resin course and work out how it all works. I got no idea.
You did the course, but
Yeah, I'll probably do the course when I do a big table. I've got a heap of wood out there, table size wood, um, 6 feet by 4 feet. A lot of it is. So I'll be able to do something with it, make nice tables out of it, and it's got big splits in it. Some of them, I'm going to use liters and liters or gallons and gallons of the stuff to fill it in, but it should be really nice.
it's dear as shit too, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, but it goes a long way. We got a Deb had a bottle here the other day. It must be out in the shed, but just a 125 ml bottle. You need an A and B because you need the hardener.
Yeah.
So it's 250 mils all up, $50. So it's not cheap by any means, and that's only that's smaller than a can of Coke sort of thing. Probably half a can of Coke would be 40 or $50. But then you go buy it in the liters. You buy a liter at the time, and it's hundreds of dollars. I've got a 20 litre drum of it.
Yeah, right.
The clear resin, but you don't need equal parts with this. You just need a small part of that.
Give it a try. Worst you can do is be practice run shit.
Exactly right. So I said to Deb, you get this shit, you can just go mad with it. If you fuck it up, you fuck it up.
If it leaks out on the ground, it won't be so bad as the fucking $400 of fucking
Ugh.
tin shit.
Yeah, especially if you were building something for someone and you said, oh, it's going to cost X amount, and then you go and waste $400 worth of resin.
Yeah.
But it seems to be the thing nowadays. It looks really nice.
Yeah, heaps of people are doing it. So yeah, it does. It does look nice when it's done right.
Those beach ones where they just put it on a board and make it look like a bit of a beach. Have you seen those ones? Nice patterns on them. They just pour it on top of a board. They don't actually cut out and fill the gaps and all that sort of stuff. And
Yeah, I've seen one. This Sheila did one on YouTube. There was a Christmas special where these 8 guys all got together and they made it was like a secret Santa. They didn't know who they were making. Well, they didn't know who they were getting a present from. They knew who they were making it for, but they all made each other a present.
yeah,
And one of them made the other one a computer desk, and they got all like old computer parts and put them in a frame, and then put clear resin over the top and made a clear resin computer desk out of computer parts.
yeah. I see one. Somebody was selling for thousands on one of these woodworking sites. I was having a look at, and it's horrible. He's put resin down, then he's put a little note. He must have written something in a note and put it there, then put bits and pieces of the yard. And I can see what his idea was to make it look natural, but yeah, no, it didn't look very good at all.
Actually, I think that is how they did it. They did like a layer of resin, then they put the computer parts, and they did another layer of resin.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, it'd just, it'd probably just, you wouldn't want it to sink through, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's the unseen part of the hobby, the amount of time you spend perfecting and practicing some of this stuff. That's the bit that nobody sees that goes on behind the scenes.
Some of the business stuff I've watched online when they talk about woodworking and turning it into any business, I guess. When it's a hobby, it doesn't matter how much time you spend doing something. But if you're trying to make at least break even, you've got to spread you sell yourself out at $40 an hour or whatever. So you still got to all those 10-minute changes into this and changing to that does add up. I don't know if I'll get to that stage where I'll worry about 10 minutes here or there. But yeah, I guess those guys are trying to make a full-time living out of it. I'd just like to make a nice little pocket so that I can buy me a few little bits and pieces and enjoy it.
Oh well, good luck to that because I'm in the same boat, mate. I would love to break even. I would just want to stem the outflow of money going away at the moment. So
Yeah, well, we're the same. There's bugger all in the account, but I've spent lots of it.
yeah, so I did did like a reconciliation and worked out how much I'd spent, and yeah, I'm like, oh, wondering how long it's going to take me to break even. At the moment, it's going to take me years to break even, but
Yeah, well,
we'll get there.
those skunks works going, mate, and you'll be raking it in. 3 million subscribers, you'll be laughing.
All right, thanks, Jack. Thanks for dropping in and having a chat on Speecho's Skunkworks Coffee and Chat. We'll catch up with you next time, mate.
No worries, Paul. Thanks for reaching out.
And thanks to everyone out there in YouTube land for joining us today for our chat. If you've got any comments or suggestions, drop a comment down below. You can check out Jack at Lumberjack Designs on Facebook and Instagram. I will throw a link in the description to this video. Righto, guys. Thanks for watching.